Hello and welcome to another update video. Today we want to talk about Beam Therapeutics. It's a stock that we covered a few times before, actually, I think once in a video, but it is one of these stocks that gets regularly requested in our stocks and S&P 500 service. If you're advanced member or professional member, you can see all these requests. As professional member, you can make requests yourself and they get analyzed. As an advanced member, you can see what other professional members have requested. So that adds a lot of different updates to the service. You'll find a link to the S&P 500 and stock service in the description in case you're interested. This last setup presented to you in my last video worked out nicely. I realized I actually had two charts for some reason. They both have a very similar outcome. And also here, you see that so the market reacted here to our support region and broke above the trend line. That was the bullish signal as presented in the last video. We want to talk about that right now. Discount is actually valid, but I also have the other chart actually. I don't know why I have two different ones. I think I covered it once before, obviously, in our membership. And in our membership, just as written update. And then in the video, I made a new chart for some reason. So, but both are valid. In both presented analysis updates, the market reached and reacted to the relevant support zone. A great setup really that we had here on the chart. So let me explain my latest update. Reason, by the way, for this update is it was requested again. So I take the opportunity to make a video actually because we covered it before. So there are two scenarios I'm tracking here. Yeah, there is one scenario and both are bullish as long as at the time, the invalidation point was $13. Now we've moved significantly, so the invalidation point is now way higher, so we can talk about that. But the idea for Beam is that we are in a bullish structure here, but there are basically two ways how this can unfold. So the first one is, as highlighted here in white, a large ABC structure. Okay, let me change the wave degree just a little higher actually. So we have a large ABC structure. I find that quite realistic actually, because the 5-wave structure is more bullish, and yeah, it can always develop into 5 waves, but it's worth just checking. Could it be just an ABC structure first? A lot of stocks move in ABC structures, but obviously both need to be considered. It just has an effect on how this move to the upside will unfold, because if it's the yellow 3rd wave, then we're dealing with an impulse. We have to have an impulse here. This has to be an impulsive 5-wave move. Cannot be a diagonal, cannot be an ABC structure. In the white C wave, we could be dealing here with a diagonal. And to be honest, the structure makes the interpretation of a diagonal absolutely possible. So the idea was, okay, we had 5 waves up into the 2021 highs, a corrective pullback into the lows of October 2023, and then basically a nice setup after we identified here a wave 1 to the upside and a wave 2 pullback. That might even be an AB structure. I think in the last video I shared with you, okay, let's call it an AB because this looks more like a 3-wave move. Both interpretations I think are possible. It doesn't make any difference to the support area, so that was triggered anyway. The idea though is that it has to be, if it's an ABC structure, it's the white count. And let me explain to you both scenarios. Let's talk about the yellow count first. I'll just tidy up the chart. So in the yellow count, this move up initially between October 23 and November was a wave 1, a wave 2 to the downside, and the projection was for a 3rd wave rally from the yellow support zone. Worked. Okay, that was a setup I presented to our members early in January. In January. I think it was around the 11th. So when we dipped into the support region, the market reacted to the 50% fib level and we've gone. Now I have to say, okay, for 5 waves, to confirm this scenario further, I need to see a 5-wave pattern. At the moment, I don't have 5 waves, and I normally want to see a few conditions fulfilled. So the third wave did what it needed to do actually. So that reached the 1.236 extension. That does not rule out at this stage the white count, but it definitely allows for yellow. If we now see a pullback in wave 4 that holds above the wave 1 high at 31.30, then and then rallies once more in wave 5, then we have the yellow count and can look for another entry point, possible pullback entry in wave 2. You know, at least what I can share with you, this would turn into a larger 1-2 setup in the yellow count and then move in a very aggressive way, most likely in the yellow count higher. What is the support area at the moment? So at the moment, I mean, as I said, invalidation point is if it cuts into the wave 1 price region. Okay, it could always be a diagonal. It's always tricky, right? It could always be a diagonal, but the ideal support now for a fourth wave, it's between 33.56 and basically 36.78. Or let me actually, because it could be a diagonal. This would be the ideal support region between $30.62 and 36.78. And then we could get one more high. Yeah, 253.26 to 61.66. So, but the problem is, in the white count, I have a slightly different structure. The white count allows, obviously, for an ending diagonal, that the C wave is an ending diagonal. We do not need to see 5 waves up. That's the tricky bit here. So this could be an ABC. One second, that was wrong. That was wrong. I will tidy up the chart a bit. So get rid of these unused or not needed boxes anymore. No, what I actually wanted to do, 3 waves could be wave 1. We get a wave 2 pullback now. I think both counts need to be considered in light of the bigger picture. So that would mean we could already have completed a wave 1 as an ABC structure. And now we are in a wave 2 pullback. Now that allows, this is already wave, that means this is already possibly wave 2. So I would go with that count. That's how we can distinguish them. If there is a break below $30.60. Okay, so that's the key level because that's the golden ratio level. Even in a diagonal, we don't want it to go below that level. That means we then have a lower support region. We have an upper support for the yellow count. And we have a lower support for the white count. And they are both relevant. As long as we don't see a first small impulsive reaction to the upside, we have no low. So clearly some kind of a local downtrend has started. The upper support is between $30.60 and 36.78. So as long as support holds here, we can expect one more high in wave 5. In the white count, the lower support area is between $21.30 and $29. And is relevant for the white count only below, and that means in simple words, below $21.30, we have bearishness. Okay, but there is nothing bearish about this at the moment until we break below $21.30. At the same time, we have no low in place until we see a first impulsive reaction to one of these fib levels. At the moment, I see no buy reaction yet. Yeah, but this is another possible bullish setup. Obviously, the last one worked out. Now I can only give you these 2 areas because I have to consider both wave counts. If you ask me what I'm leaning to, I wouldn't be surprised that if the white count plays out. Yeah, so even I mean, they partially overlap. I mean, in the white count, it really starts at the 38.2 fib level. I just don't want to have it so messy here. 32.90. But that basically overlaps with orange. So, you know, but yeah, both counts, both support areas have to be considered. When we have an upper and a lower support area and they're both bullish, they're both counts, it makes sense to consider them both. And, you know, there are different strategies like scaling into the pullback or, scaling into the pullback or basically having an initial impulse and then waiting for the next 1-2 setup to the upside. Many strategies, but this is the relevant support range now. 2 counts, both bullish. I will have to revise my wave count and structure with a break below 21.30. Yeah, that's my update about Beam. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you're interested in daily updates about the S&P 500 as well as regular updates about stocks, then please check out our stocks and S&P 500 service. You'll find the link in the description. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.